Today I've prepared for you a list of 10 exciting games where you can feel like a real ghost, wandering through worlds between life and death. Geist of the year 2005 is an exclusive GameCube title, blending first-person shooter and horror elements. Following a botched military operation, scientist John Ramey is captured by the enigmatic Volks Corporation, who extracts his soul using experimental tech. Empowered as a ghost, John combats the malevolent corporation using newfound abilities. Gameplay highlights include ghostly traversal through cracks, limited levitation, time manipulation, and possession of beings and objects. However, controlling minds requires initial fright tactics. Players can hurl objects, taint-tap water, frighten via mirrors, and deploy typical poltergeist tricks. Murdered. Sole suspect is set in the town of Salem, Massachusetts. Ronan O'Connor, a detective with a criminal past, investigates a series of brutal murders committed by a maniac known as the Ringer, who kills young girls and manages to leave no clues behind him. Detective Ronan got into an extremely unpleasant story when he tried to prevent a robbery and quite unexpectedly went to the other world. Reborn in the form of a ghost, Ronan decides to find his killer and get a fair punishment for him. During his search, the hero uses his detective skills, as well as a couple of new paranormal techniques. Ronan has a wide arsenal of bringing abilities. He, for example, can inhabit people and read their minds, influence them through mental touch, and study various documents in their hands. If he wants to be a poltergeist, he can turn on electrical devices to distract the attention of the guards and let joy slip by unnoticed. The detective will also have to hunt demons while carefully hiding from them. The plot and gameplay is led by the detective component, which means that you will have to thoroughly scour the city of Salem in search of clues that will help you solve the case. The Outbound Ghost is an adventure role-playing game with turn-based combat and side-scrolling view, which is reminiscent of Paper Mario. The action of the game takes place in a small, otherworldly town where the souls of the dead go. Only their own regrets prevent them from moving on, so our task is to help the ghosts deal with their past or make peace with their death so that they can leave the town and go to a new level of existence. Beware, your case is a strange one, and you may find yourself teaming up with figments of your emotions in order to tackle a wide variety of dangerous apparitions along the way. By solving past life problems, players will unlock personality traits like comradeship, regret, or jealousy, all of which will come in handy in battle. Flipping Death is a mixture of platformer and puzzle game, where one strange coincidence leads to a chain reaction of absolutely absurd scale. In the center of the plot is a girl named Penny. It so happened that she died just after being fired, and after her death she found herself in the afterlife. Only her soul was not allowed to rest in peace. Turns out Death went on vacation and never came back, but his work still needs to be done by someone, and so it turned out that during Death's vacation, his duties fell on Penny's shoulders. So the once sweet girl has to put a dark hood on her head, take a sharp scythe in her hands, and go in search of souls. During the journey, Penny needs to find out the reasons for his tragic death to unravel the mysteries of the mysterious city. Gameplay includes solving puzzles, as well as communicating with various characters and performing their assigned tasks. Travel between the worlds of the living and the dead to get your body back, or simply inhabit random people to hear their innermost thoughts. Starring Polterguy, released in the year 1993 for the Sega Mega Drive, follows the adventures of a teenage poltergeist seeking revenge on the unsuspecting Sardini family. The objective is to frighten all family members out of their house using scarecrows, tricks that transform ordinary objects into terrifying ones. Some scarecrows require advanced preparation, while others are improvised, chasing victims around rooms. Successful scares fill a special meter, but if it empties, a dangerous dungeon level must be completed before returning to the house. Once scared, family members flee, prompting a move to a new house and repeating the process across 4 stages with 4 dungeons. Flying heads drain the poltergeist's energy from the second level onwards. The game concludes with a final boss battle after scaring all family members. Each house features over 50 scarecrows, including unique elements like a playful severed arm and a ballerina with a rotating head. The game's scare tactics, such as blood on the floor and mosquito invasions, induce fear in house inhabitants. Grimm's Hollow. In this short story made with RPG Maker, we play as Lavender, the spirit of a recently deceased girl. The story starts with Lavender, a young girl who awakens in a bed in the afterlife. Surrounding her are balloons and skull-masked figures in purple robes. Their leader, a non-human entity called Grimm, informs her that she has died and reincarnated reincarnated as a reaper in the game's town, the Hollow. The dead in this world can reincarnate as ghosts, or reapers, a type of psychopomp who defeats ghosts. Lavender does not believe Grimm's story and starts to think of escape as soon as he leaves. However, a ghost appears and tells her that her brother Timmy has arrived with her into the Hollow. The game begins with Lavender embarking on a journey to find her missing brother and return home. In Grimm's Hollow, the ghosts are spirits who have too much energy to move to the next level of existence, and that energy makes them violent. Reapers, on the other hand, have too little energy, so they too are trapped in the afterlife. The game is based on a heartfelt story that raises the theme of loss and family grief. Grimm's Hollow is available for free on Steam, so you won't lose anything if you don't like it. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective features Sissel, a ghost with amnesia, who discovers he can possess recently deceased bodies and travel back 4 minutes before their death. In gameplay, players control Sissel, who navigates by possessing objects. To move, they enter the spirit world, dragging Sissel into objects' cores. Since his reach is limited, players engage multiple objects to navigate spaces. The game also includes sequences where players contact a victim's spirit upon finding their dead body. They can then rewind time 4 minutes before the death, attempting to save the victim by manipulating items. A countdown timer tracks the victim's impending death, urging players to swiftly alter fate and remove threats. While time constraints increase the risk of failure, players can retry as needed to rescue the victim. Spiritfarer is an indie adventure game by Thunder Lotus Games, where players must tend to the needs of spirits on their ship by providing food and expanding boat facilities. Playing as Stella alongside her cat Narcissus, players act as Charon, ferrying souls, fulfilling their final desires, and guiding them to the eternal gate leading to the afterlife. Caring for souls entails feeding them preferred foods and occasionally offering hugs. Each soul shares their story and assigns tasks to fulfill their last wishes, such as building a house or preparing a specific dish. Accomplishing these tasks involves exploring the world to gather unique resources. Contented souls aid in managing the ship, performing tasks like metal smelting or playing music to hasten vegetable growth. Periodically, players must upgrade their ship, enlarging it for more structures or adding features like an icebreaker to access new areas obstructed by ice walls. Ghostmaster features 15 levels where the primary objective is to terrify or drive mortals to madness, compelling them to leave the location. Progressing unlocks increasingly complex locations with mediums, ghost hunters, and more resistant victims. Diverse settings offer nods to popular horror films. Players engage in various tasks, including aiding demon summoning rituals, unraveling living conspiracies, and assisting police in finding hidden corpses. Balancing fear levels ensures subordinate ghosts remain in the material plane. Some spirits are bound to specific locations, requiring help from the living to release them. Completing these mini-quests recruits unique ghosts for future use, each offering distinct abilities. The narrative unfolds within a fantastical theme park, where the central landmark, a grand clock tower, falls under the control of the malevolent clown Belzebub and his cohort of assorted monsters and creatures. This nefarious villain halts the enchanted clock, triggering a transformation of the entire park into a foreboding and gloomy realm swiftly claimed by his minions. Our protagonist, Gast, a diminutive ghost cloaked in a hooded robe, bears a poignant, sad, surprised visage. Entrusted as the guardian of the tower and the park, Gast must now vanquish the antagonist and restore the once vibrant territory to its former glory.